Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Dee with INFP-A Assertive Insights. And today we're going to be talking about tweaking the MBTI and its typology differentiations. My theory. Welcome. If this is the first time that you have seen any of these videos from this week in this little series thing, I will tell you that I am doing these because my internet is out in the past 4 days. I've only had internet for 1 day. I've got another day to go without it. So I'm just sitting here with basically nothing to do at this juncture. And yeah, just looking at the clouds, and then what I decided to do was just do some short videos of things that have come to my brain, and then one way or the other the internet will come back on here, or I will go to the library next week sometime and see if I can upload these. But anyway, this is what I'm doing, so something a little bit different. So today, talking about tweaking. What am I talking about? Tweaking the MBTI. I'm only going to give you one example, and that's the example that applies to me. Again, I heard again that the INFP-A is really the ENFP. Yeah, I hear that because I'm getting the idea that in the community that 16 personalities is not very popular. They're the ones that give the designation of assertive or turbulent. But I tend to agree. I tend to agree with parts of everything. And it's interesting to me that I read an article the other day that psychologists even say that the MBTI itself is not psychology, which I had to clap a little bit for that because I'm not totally a fan. I'm in the community, I know, but I'm not totally a fan. I'm not against it. What they said it was good for is good for the workplace. I can see that. That's when I first got typed, but now it's like everybody wants to do. It's the same thing as back when I was coming along in the 60s. It's like, what's your sign? What's your horoscope sign? Everything was horoscopes and your sign, and now we have the new age coming along, and that came along too. That was the trend, and now MBTI is the trend. We got socionics, and there's a whole lot of other things that people have really caught on to that have been around for a while. Some have been around for decades and decades and forever and ever, but that's coming back around, which is fine. But I don't know what the interest is about differentiating, for example, INFP-A with the ENFP. But I will say my theory is, I have a little bit to add to this. Maybe it's not a theory. My thought is, and you can comment below, or you can just think about it. If you are a typologist, if you do it for a living, or if you're really serious into typology, or if you go around and type people as soon as you meet them. I mean, like what we used to do with astrology. Like, oh, that person sounds like go to a party. Like, that person sounds like an Aquarius. That person sounds like a Leo. I mean, I don't get into all that. I just want to know the people, and I think people do that with the MBTI. Oh, that person's a such and such. That person's a such and such. Well, when you do that, and even those who are typologists and taking it seriously, and I mean this in a serious manner, I'm not being flip. I know it kind of sounds that way. I just don't totally believe in anything. I believe in bits and pieces of everything, and that's part of being an INFP. We're a jack of all trades and a master of none. We like to know a little bit about everything. So I accept a little bit about everything, what I like. That suits me. That's my FI. So what I thought, getting to the crux of it, particularly if you are a typologist, my theory is my question is, when you type somebody, do you take into consideration the strength of each of the four core functions? Like I'm an INFP. Okay, I type well, I've typed several, but Myers-Briggs, I type INFP. Okay. Is it considered how strong I am in introversion, how strong I am in intuition, and so forth? Do you take that into consideration? So, for example, I'm like 80 some percentile in both intuition and introversion. I'm 51% feeling. Perception, I'm low. I don't know if it's the 60%. It's not 50, it's more like maybe the 60 percentile. Some low, so it's like really high in the first two and low on the second two. Is that taken? I want to know that, seriously. I do want to know that. Comment below. Is that taken into consideration when you type somebody? Or is it just, oh, you reach that threshold, whatever number comes up? If you're at least 50%, over 50%, you've got to be that way. So that is how I know my brain's starting to scramble now, but that's how I think a lot of people may think that an INFP-A is really an ENFP, is maybe the strength of the core functions. Is that taken into consideration? That's what I want to know. Give me your thoughts below, and what you think about my thought is that I think it needs to be taken into consideration. That can be a tweak. And if it is done, why aren't more people talking about it? They're not talking about it on YouTube. I've watched thousands of videos on YouTube. I've never seen it by anybody. And if it is, post where I can find it, and when my internet's working, I'll go read about it. So that's what I'm going to say about that. So until next time, something to think about. Stay safe.